Chapter 9 is on communication essentials. We'll be covering different aspects of communication in the remaining 4 chapters. An article in Mind Tools states that in order for communication to be successful, you must understand what your message is, what audience you're sending it to, and how it will be perceived. A basic communication model contains 6 elements that you see on the screen. Sender. The sender has an idea to share with another person. That idea is in the sender's mind, and the goal is to get it into the receiver's mind. The second element is receiver. The receiver is the person or persons with whom the sender is trying to communicate. After the receiver hears the message, feedback is sent to the sender. The third one is message. The message contains more than words. It also encompasses a combination of feelings, attitudes, facial and body gestures, and other unique personality traits. Channel. This refers to the medium through which a message is transmitted to its intended audience. For customer service, 2 effective channels include letters, emails, and web pages, called print media, and broadcast media, phone, personal conversations, charts, and meetings. Shared understanding. The degree to which a receiver understands what a sender is trying to communicate depends on human and personality factors involving similarities and differences between the communicators, and any previous perceptions each may have relative to the topic of discussion. And feedback, the final one, is the receiver's reaction sent back to the sender. Each of us has experienced from time to time the feeling he doesn't have a clue what I'm talking about. In most cases, we reach this conclusion by interpreting the verbal or nonverbal feedback the receiver is generating. Understanding the communication process can help CSRs become better communicators. The process shows that each communication event or customer interaction is unique, that one mind is different. The human communication process follows this pattern. First, a message arrives from a sender, and the senses pick up the message and relay it to the receiver. This is called the encoding process. Next, the receiver filters the message and gives it a unique meaning. The meaning triggers a response, and the receiver returns by voice, writing, or gestures the shared understanding of the message to the sender. This is the decoding process. And finally, a message transmitted back to the original sender is called feedback. This cycle may continue as long as the people involved want to communicate. A person who has an aggressive communication style is closed-minded, listens poorly, has difficulty seeing another person's point of view, interrupts other people while they are talking, and tends to monopolize the conversation. Typically, an aggressive communicator feels he or she must win arguments at any cost. This communication style fosters resistance, defiance, and retaliation. It exacts a high price in personal and business relationships, especially when it comes to satisfying customers. Passive is indirect, hesitant to say what is on his or her mind, and tends to agree externally while disagreeing internally. An assertive communication style is an effective, active listener, open to negotiating bargaining, and compromising in ways that everyone wins. Open questions request information in a way that requires a more complete answer than a simple yes or no. Probing questions use information already established to clarify points and ask for more details. Often, these questions promptly follow up a previous question in response. Closed questions usually elicit a yes or no answer. They can be useful in the concluding minutes of a customer conversation to confirm small details and to make sure that you have covered all the topics concerning the customer's query. Alternative choice questions provide alternatives for the customer to choose from. These questions can be particularly useful when dealing with difficult customers. Leading questions help speed up interactions with people who find it difficult to make a final decision. They also help the customer confirm information in an easy way. Direct questions can be open or closed. All direct questions have two characteristics in common. The name of the other person is always used, and the question is posed as an instruction. Answering questions is just as important as asking the questions. Here are some tips in answering questions. Be sure you understand the question. Pay attention to every word the customer uses when asking a question. Once you understand the question, then respond. Decide whether you know the answer. If you are not sure that your response is accurate, do not answer. Although quick responses are preferred, providing correct information is always the first priority. Take enough time. If a customer needs assistance, don't refuse to help because you are too busy. Also, do not pass the client from person to person. Smile. If you've got a cranky customer or one who insists you are not right, bend over backwards to make him or her happy. Be pleasant and smile when answering the customer's questions. Avoid responding to a question with a question. Questions should be asked only to clarify the original question. Beyond that, answer. Don't ask. Be careful with your power. Never belittle a customer or criticize a question you receive. When you don't know, admit it. If you are sure you don't know the answer to a question, say so. Admit you don't know, but make an effort to find someone who does. And as the questions you ask, here are some tips. The slide pretty much says everything you need to know on this one. Using positive or negative language. Positive language, as you can imagine, projects a helpful, encouraging feeling rather than a destructive, negative one. Negative language conveys a poor image to customers and may cause conflict and confrontation where none is necessary. It is important for CSRs to be aware that the customer responses may be influenced by factors beyond the typical concerns of billing, deliveries, or faulty merchandise. CSRs must keep in mind that some of the customers they encounter may be under personal distress. As teachers, we need to remember this as well. Students are under personal stress. Many are dealing with financial issues, job issues, family issues, or just time constraints, leading very busy lives, sometimes without the time management skills to cope with all that's going on. CSRs need to compose documents, emails to formal letters that educate, persuade, inform, or enlighten the customer. The most important strategy when writing is to be clear. The costs of sloppy and poorly written documents with spelling and grammatical errors can be staggering to organizations. Professional documents are very important. Identify the audience and then put yourself in your audience's shoes as you write for understanding. Write clearly with a purpose in mind. Get to the point by presenting your message in concise, easy to understand, and grammatically correct language. Tone refers to the writer's attitude toward the reader and the subject of the message. The tone of written communication should be confident, courteous and sincere, non-discriminatory, and positive.